I live with one roommate, I'll call her Jenna for privacy purposes. We've been friends since college and moved in together about 6 months ago. Overall, things are fine. We split chores evenly, get along well, belong to the same social circles, work in similar fields, and usually spend time together without any tension. We're close enough that moving in together felt like a natural next step, not a risk. About 2 months ago, Jenna started sleepwalking. The first time it happened, I didn't think much of it. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. Our floors creak a lot, so I assumed she was just going to the bathroom or to the kitchen for water. I stayed in bed and waited for the noise to pass. A few nights later, it happened again. Except this time, the footsteps stopped right outside my bedroom door. I remember lying there, half asleep, waiting for them to move on. They didn't. Eventually, I opened my door and saw her standing directly in front of it. She wasn't reaching for the handle or looking around. She was just standing there, facing my door like she'd been waiting. I asked if she needed something. She didn't respond. Her eyes were open, but unfocused, like she was looking through me instead of at me. After a few seconds, she turned around and walked back to her room without saying a word. The next morning, I brought it up casually. She looked genuinely confused and said she didn't remember getting up at all. Then she laughed it off and told me she's always been a sleepwalker, especially when she's stressed. I didn't have any reason not to believe her. It was strange, but it didn't feel threatening. Since then, it's been happening a few times a week. What started to bother me was the consistency. She doesn't wander the apartment. She doesn't go into the kitchen or the bathroom. She always stops outside my door. Sometimes she stays there for only a few seconds. Other times, it feels like minutes. I've tried pretending to be asleep. I've tried clearing my throat or shifting in bed. Nothing changes until she decides to leave. I finally told her it was making me uncomfortable. I asked if she could see a doctor or at least close her door at night so she wouldn't wander. She got defensive and said I was being unfair, that sleepwalking isn't something she can control, and that I shouldn't be making her feel bad about a medical issue. Last night was different. I woke up around 3 a.m. and immediately knew she was there. She was closer than usual, so close I could see the shadow of her feet under the doorframe. I could hear her breathing on the other side. I didn't open the door this time. My heart was already racing. Instead, I asked quietly, through the door, "Jenna, are you awake?" She answered immediately. Yes. There was no hesitation. No grogginess. Just a calm, clear response. I froze. I asked her why she was standing there. She said, "You weren't supposed to hear me yet." I told her to go back to her room or I'd call someone. My voice was shaking by then. She didn't respond right away. She just stood there silently for a moment that felt too long. Then she walked away. This morning, she acted completely normal. She made coffee, talked about work, and asked if I wanted to hang out later. When I confronted her, she swore she'd been asleep all night. She accused me of trying to control her behavior and said that insisting she did things she couldn't remember was gaslighting her. I told her I was going to install a lock on my door. She got upset and said that makes her feel accused and unsafe, and that I'm treating her like a threat instead of a roommate with a medical condition. She hasn't spoken to me since. I honestly don't know what to think anymore. I'm exhausted, I'm second-guessing my own memory, and I dread going to sleep. All I know is that tonight, I'm locking my door and I'm scared of how she'll react when she notices.